Hello and good evening. You're watching AWANI Tonight with me, Hafiz Marzukhi. The by-election for the Mahkota State seat in Johor will take place on September 28th. The Election Commission EC announced today. Candidate nomination is set for September 14th, while early voting is scheduled for September 24th.
The seat fell vacant following the death of its incumbent, Datuk Sharifah Azizah Said Zain, early this month. Sharifah won the Mahkota State constituency in the 2022 Johor State election. Prior to that, she was Penawa Assemblyman from 2018 to 2022. EC Chairman Datuk Sri Ramlan Harun, who announced the dates during a press conference, said that 1,126 EC officers will be deployed to manage the by-election.
Selangor Menteri Besar Datuk Sri Amiruddin Shari says he is more comfortable leading the state government rather than taking up a federal minister post. He said that he wants to ensure continuation and effectiveness of state development plans, particularly involving the ongoing Selangor First Plan.
Amiruddin, who is also the Member of Parliament for Gombak, made the comments in response to speculation that a Menteri Besar from PKR might be appointed as a full minister. Prime Minister Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim on Monday dismissed rumours of a cabinet reshuffle. Amiruddin added that there are also no plans to reshuffle Selangor's administration, though there is always the possibility in the future due to factors like illness, death or other reasons. He said the current lineup is performing well, although some improvements are needed. It was earlier rumoured that Amiruddin planned to replace 2 executive councillors to enhance the efficiency of the state administration.
The country's live birth rate decreased by 10.2% in the second quarter of 2024 compared to the same period last year. According to the Department of Statistics Malaysia or DOSM, on average, 1 baby was born every minute or 47 babies every hour.
The overall gender ratio was 106 males for every 100 females. Selangor recorded the highest number of live births with 19,320, while Labuan had the lowest with 324 births. Meanwhile, a total of 48,460 deaths were recorded in the second quarter of 2024, which is a decrease of 5.4%. On average, 1 death was recorded every 2 minutes, 22 deaths every hour, and 538 deaths per day. Meanwhile, Malaysia's population has increased by 1.9% to 34.1 million in the second quarter of 2024, compared to 33.4 million in the same period last year. The working age population, which is 15 to 64 years old, and the elderly population of 65 and over, increased from 23.3 million and 2.5 million respectively to 23.9 million and 2.6 million in the second quarter of 2024.
Malaysia can play its role as a middle power in global supply chain security amid the US-China standoff, particularly via its electrical and electronics and renewable energy sectors. Investment, Trade and Industry Minister Tengku Datuk Sri Zafrul Abdul Aziz says globally, investors in industries such as electric, vehicle and solar power are focused on securing sensitive trade goods.
Emergence or de-emergence of competing supply chains at both countries' efforts to decouple from each other's economies has reshaped the dynamics of both international trade and international investments. So for Malaysia, as we navigate through this turbulent terrain, understanding the clear division within the global tech ecosystem has been crucial in positioning Malaysia as a preferred investment destination, particularly for semiconductors.
Malaysia, he said, is in an excellent position to reap the opportunities of the ongoing tech Cold War, having welcomed global investors such as Infineon, Intel and Texas Instruments. He said Malaysia's national semiconductor strategy has earmarked over 25 billion ringgit over the next decade to strengthen and upscale Malaysia's semiconductor sector.
The theme of this year's International Youth Day centres around the theme of digital pathways for sustainable development. Wan Hidayat from Club Belia Prihatin highlights the crucial role youth play in driving sustainable change along with digitalisation.
What do we want as youth? So we want to create a world where in 50 years' time, the Earth would still be a livable planet, that all of us are not marginalized when the world transitions to a low carbon economy, and all the big companies would find alternative to fossil fuel and stop polluting the environment. We are the most tax savvy generation, and at the risk of sounding very cliche, I would say that social media is the most prominent aspect of the digital landscape that holds the power to empower youth to engage and promote sustainable development in Malaysia and, of course, regionally as well.
Beyond social media, Hidayat shared other digital technologies that can empower youth to further the sustainable development goals.
Gen AI has given rise to a generation with unlimited access to knowledge at the tip of our fingers. And Gen AI can be harnessed to solve a range of sustainable development goals. If I can pick one example, currently the Gen AI, ChatGPT, for example, or the power of Gen AI can be used to analyze environmental data. For example, it can predict the availability of renewable energy resources like solar and wind, helping to maximize their utilization and reduce reliance on fossil fuels. On the other hand, the second point, which is quantum computing, which is in its early development, quantum computing can actually revolutionize how we manage resources given the amount of power that it can deliver. So, for example, climate science, I would say that the level of understanding of weather is so on the surface level that we need much more computing power to understand how weather works. And with quantum computing, with the power it's able to provide, it will help models, computer scientists, to analyze hundreds and thousands of models to be able to come up with warning signs or for tornadoes, like in the US, for example. So those two emerging trends, generative AI and quantum computing, are two promising tools that can be harnessed to solve sustainable development goals by 2030.
We'll go for a short break. Stay with us.
Inilah kita bergandeng bahu, sama-sama kita menuju ke hadapan. Sempena perayaan yang istimewa ini, Astro dengan bangganya mempersembahkan saluran kita untuk semua.
Bintang sama-sama, tekanlah pusat sama.
Inilah kita, megah bersama.
Cantik itulah kita.
Pelanggan Astro juga boleh menghayati 6 saluran komplementari. Sama-sama kita warnakan langit indah. Negaraku, negara kita. Marilah raih bersama Shock Fest di Seja City Park ke arah Malaysia yang kita mahu. Kita bergerak serentak. Inilah kita. Kongsi cerita kita yang menggambarkan masyarakat majmuk serta harmoni. Saling membantu dan saling menghormati. Kitalah kita. Inilah kita.
Welcome back. The outgoing US ambassador in Ankara, Jeff Flake, says his country was asking Turkey and allies with ties to Iran to persuade Tehran to de-escalate tensions in the Middle East. Flake's remarks come as the region prepares for potential attacks from Iran and its allies following the recent killings of senior Hamas and Hezbollah members.
Ismail Haniyeh, the political leader of Hamas, was assassinated in Tehran on July 31st, sparking threats of retaliation from Iran. Iran has blamed Israel for the killing, though Israel has not claimed responsibility. Speaking at the end of his posting in Turkey, outgoing Flake told journalists that Washington is urging Turkey to help prevent further escalation. He noted that Turkish officials appear more confident than the US that the situation will not worsen. US-Turkey relations have been tense in recent years due to disagreements over the US alliance with Syrian Kurds, whom Turkey considers terrorists. and Turkey's purchase of Russian S-400 missile systems, which led to US sanctions and Turkey's removal from the F-35 jet program.
Meanwhile, Iran's foreign ministry has dismissed calls for restraint against Israel from France, Germany and Britain, stating that these appeals lack political logic and contradict principles of international law. The three European countries issued a statement on Monday, urging Iran and its allies to refrain from attacking Israel following the killing of Ismail Haniyeh.
Foreign Ministry spokesperson Nasser Kanani criticized the European leader's statement, saying that it brazenly demands that Iran refrain from responding to violations of its sovereignty and territorial integrity, while ignoring the crimes committed by Israel. Kanani stressed that Tehran is determined to deter Israel and urged the three countries to finally take a stand against the war in Gaza and Israel's warmongering. He added that the strong political and military support from Western governments towards the Zionist regime is a key factor in the worsening Gaza crisis.
Hospital services were disrupted in several cities in India following nationwide doctors' protest spread, sparked by the alleged rape and murder of a 31-year-old trainee doctor in Kolkata. Thousands of doctors marched in protest, demanding justice for the victim and better security measures at government-run hospitals.
Protesters gathered outside the RG Kar Medical College and Hospital in Kolkata, where the postgraduate trainee was found dead in a seminar hall. An autopsy later confirmed she had been sexually assaulted. The protest, which began over the weekend, has now spread nationwide. In Maharashtra, over 8,000 government doctors halted work in all hospital departments except emergency services. In New Delhi, junior doctors in white coats protested outside a major government hospital, demanding a thorough investigation. Similar protests erupted in Uttar Pradesh and Goa. A police volunteer was arrested in Kolkata for the doctor's murder, but protesters argue that their workplace remains unsafe. The protesting doctors are calling for an unbiased investigation into the killing, the resignation of responsible hospital authorities, adequate security for all medical staff, and the speedy ratification of a healthcare protection law.
People are leaving New Zealand in record numbers as unemployment rises and the economy slows. According to its statistics agency, some 131,200 people left the country in the year ending June 2024. Now, this is the highest number of departures ever recorded for a single year. Notably, around a third of these immigrants are heading to Australia.
The data showed that of those who left, 80,174 were citizens, which was almost double the numbers seen leaving prior to the COVID-19 pandemic. Economists say that many New Zealanders, frustrated by the rising cost of living and fewer job opportunities, are looking to Australia, the UK and other countries for better prospects. New Zealand's economy is struggling, partly due to the central bank's decision to raise interest rates by 521 basis points, the largest tightening on record. Meanwhile, Australia is actively recruiting workers in sectors such as nursing, policing and teaching, offering jobs where there are skills shortages and attracting New Zealanders who do not need visas to work there. At the same time, the New Zealand government has undertaken a significant downsizing of the country's public service, leaving many skilled workers looking for work.
Now that wraps up this edition of AWANI Tonight. I'm Hafiz Marzukhi. Thanks for watching and good night.
Di era digital,